You've listened to me talk about hated songs that I personally enjoy, and then you listen to me talk about even more hated songs that I personally enjoy, and then you listen to me talk about songs that are liked by most people that I personally don't enjoy, and now it's time for me to talk about hated bands or artists that I personally enjoy. Nothing really much else to say here, let's finish up this intro and kick this off, shall we? U2. I'll admit, I'm coming from a bit of a bias here because I have a lot of nostalgia surrounding this band. I mean it when I say this is the very first band that I got into. Like, literally, when I was 5 years old, holy shit, I would blast U2 all the fucking time. And it wasn't full-length albums or anything. It was the same, like, handful of singles that U2 is best known for that I would listen to ad nauseum. But a lot of people really hate this band, and I can never really understand for the life of me why. I guess, to an extent, maybe I can a little bit. People say, oh, they're lame, they're mom rock, but that really just mostly applies to their later stuff, but even their later stuff I enjoy. I kind of like the optimism that their later stuff has, and I can take, more, I guess, quote-unquote lame rock every once in a while, which I mean, I don't really consider U2's later stuff to be lame, but a lot of people do, and that's really most of the shit this band gets. But when you listen to their early stuff, more particularly their 80s stuff, they're rockin'. They really have an edge to them. No pun intended, but they really do. I mean, albums like War or Joshua Tree have quite a few songs that really go hard and really challenge the notion that U2 is that band that your lame aunt loves listening to. And also, a lot of the shit the band gets is, of course, from Bono because he's a self-righteous prick, and I'm not going to argue that. But, I mean, a lot of bands have frontmen that are douchebags, and that really doesn't say much about the quality of their music. If they still make good music, who gives a shit if one or more members of the band are absolute insufferable douchebags? So you may say my defense for this band comes from me wearing the nostalgia goggles, but I only just listened to their discography in full a few years ago, in 2017 I believe, so even the songs that I have no emotional attachment to, no nostalgia attached to whatsoever, the songs that I only just got acquainted to a few years ago, a lot of the stuff I still enjoy, so it isn't coming from a bias 100%. I legitimately enjoy this band, and I feel they get unfairly shafted for their newer stuff because a lot of people find it to be lame. Coldplay. Much like U2, they get a lot of criticism for being quote-unquote a lame band or being a band full of quote-unquote pussies, and maybe they have a little bit more of a point in this case, but I do really like Coldplay's music. Hell, I'll go to my deathbed and say that A Rush of Blood to the Head is a fucking fantastic album. Just because a band chooses to appeal to your emotions more and takes a more softer approach doesn't mean they're pussies. It's just that the music isn't for you, and personally, I really love the highly emotional stuff that Coldplay makes, especially their later stuff, but even their later stuff I personally enjoy. I used to be one of those Coldplay fans who would say, yeah, their early stuff was so good, I don't know what the fuck happened, they make garbage now, but I found myself actually enjoying their latest release that came out in late 2019, I believe, somewhere around there. And I mean, aside from A Head Full of Dreams, I enjoy their later albums. They have quite a few songs that I really like. I won't say they're as good as early Coldplay, but still, I feel like most of their later period albums are pretty solid. But that aside, for those who haven't heard it, A Rush of Blood to the Head is a must listen, and if you don't like that album, you'll sure as shit hate the rest of their stuff. But if you like that album, I'd say at least check out some of their other early period albums because it might have some stuff that'll tickle your fancy. Especially if you enjoy depressing British soft rock. Weezer. Now, it's pretty widely accepted that their 90s albums are fucking masterpieces. Most fans agree that their first two albums are their best two albums, and you'd be very hard-pressed to find a person not at the very least saying their first two albums were alright, but after that point, things get pretty messy, and that's where this band gets their very mixed reputation. You have gems like Maladroit, Everything Will Be Alright in the End, and White, but then you have trash like Make Believe, Ratitude, Pacific Daydream, ugh. And a lot of people say this band is very hit or miss, or people even go the extra mile and say, after the first two albums, this band is pretty shit. But I'm inclined to disagree, because even after the first two, I think there's some really great stuff, like the albums I mentioned, and I even like some of the more contentious albums, like Red and Hurley. If you disregard the shit on those albums, I think they're pretty solid albums that have some really great tracks on them. OK Human and Van Weezer released just recently, and I think those two albums are among some of their best work. some of the best albums they've put out since Pinkerton. This band has more than proven that they're totally capable of still making great music. It's just that this band is so inconsistent when it comes to quality, because one album could be fucking phenomenal, and then the next one could be absolute dog shit. And I can totally understand why that might be off-putting to some people. Trust me, it's really difficult being a Weezer fan. I should know, but to unfairly write off a band as shit for some bad albums, even though they have some great stuff, is pretty unfair, and I wish this band would get more of a fair chance, but I can understand to an extent why people kind of write off this band, because again, they're prone to making really shit albums despite being a great band. But at least listen to the stuff that's good, that's not Blue and Pinkerton, give it a fair shot, and then see what you think. And if you still don't like it, fine, that's fair, but at the very least, give it a chance, please. Green Day. Oh god, I've heard so many punk elitists throughout the years say, Green Day is not real punk, they're garbage, they give punk a bad name. Well, yeah, you're kind of sort of right, they're not real punk, and I don't think they claim to be real punk, they're pop punk. There's kind of sort of a differentiation there, and look, I'm no pop punk fan, but Green Day is most certainly an exception, because they've made songs that not only resonate with me, but also songs that I could just rock out to and have a fun time to, because a lot of their songs are just legitimately fun to listen to. And that's just what I love so much about this band. I could just crank up a song of theirs really loud, and then just have a fun time just listening to the song. I wish music fans didn't have to be so fucking snobby. Subgenres exist. Green Day's within a subgenre. Just because you personally don't like the music doesn't mean that genre of music isn't valid, and that doesn't excuse you to be a fucking prick to anyone who happens to enjoy said music. Just keep fapping while listening to the Sex Pistols and leave everyone else the fuck alone. Limp Bizkit. Oh boy, I have some explaining to do for this one, but I'm not gonna dash to the defense of this band like I did for all the ones previously, because in this case, I am fully aware that the music I am listening to is bad and really fucking stupid, but in Limp Bizkit's case, that kinda adds to the charm, because they make fun and dumb music that I really enjoy. It's the kind of music that you just shut your brain off to, put on full blast, and enjoy, and that's what Limp Bizkit's music boils down to me. Dumb fun that you shut your brain off to, and just rock out to without much thought. It's weird too, because for the most part, I don't like nu metal at all, but I enjoy Limp Bizkit. They just have that really weird and stupid charm to them that draws me, and perhaps my dad blasting their music in the car when I was a kid kind of contributed to that, and kind of contributes to me liking the band to this day, but I don't know, even the songs that I didn't hear as a kid, I find myself enjoying, and I don't listen to Limp Bizkit on a regular basis or anything. I don't have their entire discography on my phone, but sometimes I'll listen to a single, and I find myself having a fun time just laughing at the stupidity of the song, and just overall enjoying myself. But with all that said, I'll concede on this one point. Fred Durst is an absolute fucking chode. Moving on. Dave Matthews Band. This is another band that I have a lot of nostalgia surrounding. That seems to be a pattern in this video, right? But my father used to play this band all the damn time around me as a kid, and he still plays a lot of songs by this band to this day. And I do actually really like a lot of songs by this band. I don't know their whole discography, but what I've heard, I enjoy. And I found out a few years ago that this band is actually pretty immensely hated, and I was wondering, why the hell do people hate this band? They're one of the most inoffensive bands out there, and then it kind of clicked with me. Maybe that's why this band is so hated. So, out of curiosity, I looked up why exactly do people hate this band, and I found out it's actually because of the fan base. Or at least that's the reason a lot of people gave, and it's kind of a bullshit reason to hate a band, or really to hate anything, because you can't control what people gravitate towards. A common complaint I hear about this band is, ugh, the fan base is full of college frat boy stoners, and why should I give a shit if I like the music? Why should I give a fuck about who is a fan of the music? I'll admit, the band does make some nice stoner music, I should know, because I kinda sorta smoke myself, but that aside, the music on its own, even when I'm not high, is actually pretty nice. Again, I've been listening to this band ever since I was a kid. Not all of their albums all the way through, but still, a good chunk of their discography I've been pretty familiar with for pretty much my whole life, and long before I discovered weed, I've been liking this band's music. Same with Pink Floyd. They were, of course, amazing high, but they're still amazing sober. So, anyways, please pick a legitimate reason as to why you hate this band. I mean, I could respect any other reason aside from I don't like the fan base, because that has nothing to do with what you are criticizing, because again, there is like literally no control over who gravitates towards what you create. Same could be said for a lot of things. I'm really tired that a common complaint for a lot of things is just I don't like the fan base, because that's such a fucking bullshit cop-out. Creed. This is another one that I'm probably gonna get shit for, but oh well. This is another band that I got into because my father. I'm sorry for mentioning him so much in this video, but he really had such a huge impact on my taste in music. He loved post-grunge bands like Creed. He would play Creed and other bands like them around me all the time, and it just kind of rubbed off on me. I gave their album My Own Prison a listen a few years ago, and throughout I was thinking, what the fuck is so bad about this band? I actually really enjoy this. It doesn't help that, out of curiosity, when I searched up why do people hate Creed, a lot of the answers I saw were just because they suck. Nothing else, no explanation aside from that, so yeah, thank you for giving that very detailed explanation and giving me some insight as to why people hate the band. Oh, it's because they suck. Yeah, no shit, I'd like to know a little bit more. So hey, since the internet refuses to give me a direct reason as to why people hate the band, all I really have to say is I enjoy Creed, and if you really can't accept that, well, too fucking bad. It's my taste in music. You have your own taste in music. Don't be such a prick about it. Oasis. Part of what garners a lot of hate for this band is the fact that the band members, more particularly the Gallagher brothers, are pretentious douchebags, and they're not the nicest towards their fans, which, that I can look past. I mean, yeah, it's shitty to be, well, shitty towards your fans, but if they make good music that I enjoy, then I can look past all their faults, because I really don't care if people are douchebags as long as the art they create is enjoyable. But not only that, a lot of the hate for this band also centers around the fact that, well, not really fact, but the notion that they're quote-unquote Beatles ripoffs. Yeah, there's definitely an influence there, but I'd say Oasis definitely differentiates themselves from the Beatles and still has their own sound. Yeah, there's some little nods here and there, like for example, the opening piano in the song Don't Look Back in Anger, which is a great song, by the way. Listen to it if you haven't already. Sounds very similar to the piano in Imagine by John Lennon, which I know is not a Beatles song, it's just a John Lennon song, but still, I see that as more just a little nod or an homage to their love of the Beatles and each member of the Beatles. You hear that all the time in music, like for example, in Weezer's recent release, Van Weezer, one of the songs has literally note for note the riff from Crazy Train by Ozzy Osbourne, and is that a ripoff? Well, not exactly. I mean, it's just an homage. The album's concept is the band paying homage to a lot of the heavy classic rock bands that the members grew up listening to and were influenced by, and that Crazy Train riff they put in the album is not a ripoff, it's more them paying tribute to one of their biggest influences, Ozzy Osbourne. And I see Oasis taking some Beatles influences, maybe taking some riffs or other ideas from other Beatles songs. Not really ripping them off, but is more just paying tribute to them because the Beatles were a huge influence on Oasis, and they were paying tribute to the Beatles. There's a difference there. And also, I like Wonderwall. I know that song is so heavily despised, but I could never really get behind the hate for that song. I enjoy it personally. Is it the best Oasis song? Hell no, but it's not as bad as so many people make it out to be. I mean, fuck. A YouTuber that I used to really like watching before he deleted his channel on his own accord, Undertaker Freak 1127, made a whole rant on this song in his car, and he was screaming about it, and I'm like, dude, is the song really that bad? I never found it to be that bad, but a lot of people seem to feel this passionately angry about the song, so oh well, whatever. Hole, aka Courtney Love's band. A lot of the hate for this band stems from the fact that a lot of people just hate Courtney Love, and a lot of that hate does lean itself towards the more conspiratorial side of things, like Courtney killed Kurt Cobain, which I'm really not going to get into because I don't have that much of an opinion on the issue. I don't think she killed Kurt, but none of us were there, so none of us could really say for sure what the fuck happened to Kurt, but that aside, I mean, it's really unfair to hate a whole band that's made up of more than one person because you hate the front person so much. I think Live Through This is a great fucking album, very reminiscent of Nirvana because she wrote the album with Kurt, even though the album released after Kurt's death. And I just wonder, if literally anyone else fronted this band, would it be so hated? Because I feel like a lot of the hate for this band is unjust, because again, I feel a lot of people don't hate the band for the music itself, just for the fact that it's fronted by Courtney Love. Love. And look, the controversy surrounding Kurt Cobain's death aside, I still don't like Courtney Love because she's a very, very cunty person, but all of that aside, the music itself is great. Courtney Love is no doubt a talented person. I could rock out to songs like Violet and Asking for It for hours on end and still not get tired of it whatsoever, because I just love those songs oh so much. And the rest of the album, Live Through This, is also pretty fucking phenomenal. And I've heard bits and pieces of some stuff Hole has released outside of that album. They really don't have that big of a discography at all, but that album in particular is a fucking banger, and I definitely recommend it to anyone who really loves 90s grunge. Billie Eilish. Yeah, you all knew this was coming. The hate Billie Eilish receives is some of the most unfair hate for a music artist I have ever seen. You're hard-pressed to go to any music comment section without her being mentioned in any way, shape, or form in a disparaging manner. Like, for example, I showed this in a video some months ago. Under a Queen song, someone wrote, "Billie Eilish, my music videos are weird." And then they wrote, "Freddie, hold my penguin, John, hold whatever the fuck," and you get the whole thing. I'm sure you've seen this kind of joke in comment sections a billion fucking times over, but I've always hated this really unfair characterization of Billie Eilish because it makes it seem like she feels that she is superior or is the best at what she does, when I've never ever gotten that vibe from her, and I don't think she's ever given that vibe ever, because to my knowledge, she has never point blank said, "I am the queen of weird videos," or "I am the queen of depressing music," or anything like that. Because I also go in the comment sections of songs that are really depressing, and then they're like, Billie Eilish thinks her songs are so depressing. Well, she has never heard of this, or her fans have never heard of this, and they also accuse her of faking depression and her fans faking depression because they listen to her music to seek some sort of comfort, which my response is, who the fuck are you to say someone is faking their depression? Do you know Billie Eilish personally? Do you know her whole fan base personally? No, you fucking don't. So who the fuck are you to say someone is faking their depression? Because you are not living in that person's body. You do not know how that person feels. And it's assholes like you that keep mental health such a taboo issue in this world, and in this country especially, because you people are so fucking quick to say, this person is faking their disability, this person is faking the emotions that they feel. It's fucking sickening. It really fucking is. And a lot of these jokes, quote-unquote jokes, making fun of Billie Eilish and her fans just spread this taboo about mental health, this taboo against anyone who feels any sort of depression, and it keeps people from talking about their issues because they are in fear that the person they may confide in is an asshole like you, who is gonna quickly judge them and say, "Oh no, you're faking this, you're not really depressed, you're just faking your depression for clout." As if depression is something that anyone would fucking want. But anyways, I know I deviated so far away from Billie Eilish's music, but this is really the bullshit that people spew when it comes to her music. They don't talk about the music itself, they just talk about Billie Eilish faking her depression, her fans faking their depression. It's so fucking stupid, and I'm so fucking sick of seeing this so many goddamn times when I go into the comment section of a song that I like. Oh my fucking god, Billie Eilish is just a musician, a singer that you do not like. Get the fuck over her. You do not have to mention her every single time you listen to a song that you enjoy. You don't like her music? Cool. So many other people don't like her music. You don't need to express how much you don't like her music, because we have heard it so many goddamn times. And I should make this clear. If you just simply don't like her music, and you're not like any of the assholes I've been ranting on these past few minutes, fine. I understand. Her music is an acquired taste, and that's perfectly valid. As long as you express your dislike for her music in a respectful manner and don't pull accusations out of your ass about her and the people who listen to her music, fine. But if you're one of these assholes who accuse her of faking depression and accuse her fans of faking depression and, go on these anti-Billie Eilish tirades all the fucking time, you're just an insufferable douchebag, and I want absolutely nothing to do with you, okay? She's far from my favorite artist of all time, but I still go on the defense for her a lot, because a lot of the hate that I see surrounding her is absolute fucking bullshit. But with all that said, her upcoming album, Happier Than Ever, July 30th. I'm so fucking hyped. The singles for the album have been great so far, and I have really high hopes for the upcoming album. But I'm not done yet. I have one more band that I want to discuss, and I feel like all of you will probably be shocked. This is a band that I've hated for a really long time, but just recently I discovered they are actually fucking phenomenal, and they are among one of my favorite bands of all time now. Let's get to them. Nickelback. Oh my god, this band is so fucking good. Ugh, I can't understand the hate for this band for the life of me. I used to hate this band too myself, but then all of a fucking sudden, I felt this urge to listen to their discography. I listened to it, and every single song is a 20 out of 10. I cannot believe how good this band is, and I cannot believe that their genius just flies over everyone's head. Okay, I'm just joking. This band sucks ass. I don't know if I fooled anyone there, but if I did, well, mission accomplished on my part then. So those are all the bands and artists that are hated among many, but I personally enjoy, or at least the ones that I can think of off the top of my head. If you're part of the majority and hate one or more of the picks in this video, well, as long as you could respectfully agree to disagree with me, I can respectfully agree to disagree with you. I'm not a prick when it comes to my music taste, and neither should you. Because at the end of the day, this is just fucking music. It's not serious business. I understand music is a passion for many, but you also have to understand that there are many different tastes in music, and not everyone is going to have the same taste as you, and are going to have wildly different opinions than you when it comes to certain bands and artists. So I don't know when I'm gonna do these type of videos ever again, because I really have no ideas for these type of videos in the foreseeable future, but maybe sometime down the line I'll make another one of these types of videos. Maybe it'll be another hated songs list, or another songs that many people like and I don't like list. Who knows? It's been almost a year since the last time I did one of these videos, and I expect another gap like that in between this video and the next video that'll be of this style. But anyways, I'm gonna finally play some Resident Evil Village now. Oh my god, I'm so fucking hyped to play this. I've been waiting for this to come in the mail for like nearly a week now, so yeah, that's what I'm gonna be doing for the rest of the day. Anyway, that's all I have to say. Bye-bye.